She's concise, I almost read that wrong, with a tender, calm attitude that makes me want to accept her request without thinking it over, but I hold my tongue a bit longer. Stand your ground, Ciar. I know you well enough to know that you're going to do whatever you want despite whatever I say. Aw, bad Ciar. So I don't mind leading you there, but...
Blah, blah, blah. You're always moaning. Ciar, is that place so important that you won't show it to me? Is that the place they've been writing at him?
Yeah, I think so.
Did he have an accident there anyways? I can't believe you'd go to a place with bad memories attached to it so often. That's why I'm interested in going with you, personally.
That's exactly why
You can't leave your past behind, so you always end up returning to that place, am I right?
I feel like that was a Lion King reference. Gotta put the past behind you.
Rafiki.
Well, yeah, I think Rafiki or Timon said it or something. But yeah, you gotta put the past behind you. I glance away from Claire.
But that has changed. What up until now was an empty, gloomy place is no longer that way, correct?
I think of Luce. Since we made that deal, we've been meeting in that library almost every day to the point it's become a habit. But I try not to think about her any longer since Claire is standing in front of me, and I don't think it'd be appropriate since she could get the wrong idea.
Probably would get the wrong idea.
I know, she would. I want Ciaran to figure out his feelings. It's kind of annoying now. 3 ladies, pick one, or do a harem. I don't care. That's not the point. There were certain circumstances.
I do not approve of harems.
Oh, yeah, right. No harems. 1 woman, please. Go ahead.
There's no going back. What was once yours isn't any longer. Losing it or sharing it, your choices are decreasing, but paradoxically, it has opened a new world up to you. It allowed you to meet someone. The one.
Unless she's referring to herself.
Even the smallest of actions can open an unexpected door, and that's what I want to do. Oh, what kind of door? I want to know who you truly are, Ciar, more so than the concepts in my mind, and in exchange, I'll tell you everything that you want to know. I'll answer each and every one of your questions you're always asking.
I scratch my forehead, unsure whether or not I understand Claire's intention. Heck, I'm not even sure I understand a single word of anything she says when she gets this way. I feel a certain mysticism emanating from her every time our conversations drift into this incomprehensible chatter, as if covered by a thick fog that somehow draws me deeper within it. It's close, like having the answer on the tip of my tongue. It only needs to take form. It's as if all of the secrets of this world are slipping right through the space between my fingers. You win. Let's go now.
Yay. Great. It's so easy to manipulate you, Ciar.
Oh, jeez, Claire, don't get that excited. Don't make me regret it already.
I'm kidding, dummy. No, you probably weren't.
And we're back at the library. Cheerful and ruddy. Rudy? Ruddy? Ruddy? Is that Ruddy?
Ready?
Ruddy. Whatever. And Claire spins around as she tries to view the totality of the room all at once with her retinas. A bright expression replaced across her face as if she's remembering the best moments in her entire life.
With her laser beam retinas.
Yeah. I'd be scared if you had laser beam retinas. The last part is a hunch that only grows more and more likely the longer I watch her. She walks around the tables and explores all of the shelves with the passion of a treasure seeker that already knows exactly where to find their loot. She opens all of the doors she finds, only to close them again after taking a peek to see what was inside and nodding agreeably.
This is fantastic, Ciar. I love it. I'm beginning to understand why you're so obsessed with this place.
Don't think that everything here is awesome. I have to clean the place from time to time, and it doesn't have water or electricity, or anything really, but at least it's quiet.
It's very quiet. It's so far away from the rest of the world that it gives you a lot of privacy, especially for doing... Oh, really?
Doing what? Oh, no. You want me to read our line?
For goodness sake, Ciar, you weren't born yesterday. You know perfectly well what I meant. Oh, jeez. Or would you like me to give you a demonstration of it right now on this table?
No, thank you. I choke on my own saliva, and in response, Claire loudly begins to laugh at me.
Oh, that's mean.
You're
I wouldn't take it
mean.
that far. What a coward you are, Ciar. I'll give you time. We've already agreed to a certain date, and I'll honor that.
Oh, jeez.
Gonna make it at the
So
library.
you're just gonna tease them until the date or something. I'm not a coward, but you can't say things like,
Are you sure? Offer still up here.
Claire grabs my neck and pulls me closer to her, then
jeez.
stands on the tip of her toes until we're face to face. Our faces are so close that we're practically kissing. Sparks fly out such that even a light breeze could set the room ablaze. I'd like to see that happen though in this story. But in the end, the kiss never happens. See, she's such a tease. No destiny wanted to give me that push.
I don't think you'd want to be with crazy lady anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't support her and him anyway.
She's the stalker, right?
Yeah, Claire's the stalker. It's her that, after a few seconds, embraces me, wrapping her arms around my neck and presses her lips against my right ear. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's her.
Yeah, that's her. That's not Ciar.
You're so cute when you're speechless, Ciar.
She lets go, releasing me and taking up I can't read now, and taking a couple of steps backwards while playing with the ends of her skirt between her fingers. She looks at me and smiles, waiting for as long as she needs to. I don't need to hear her verbalize it to know exactly what she's thinking. The most important thing is for me to be truthful. I get distracted inside, looking away, and when I look back, she's gone.
That's good.
One of the doors is open, indicating that she went farther into the depths of the complex, getting lost in the labyrinth's gray hallways and forcing me to call out her name. She answers me. I can hear her voice resounding from every direction, but I can't find her behind any of the doors or corners. It's like a game, a round of hide and seek that plays out indefinitely. Our voices echo within the narrow spaces between the walls that extend out towards every direction. I'll never be able to find her unless I decide which path I must take. I won't reach anywhere if I don't stop and listen beyond the words, understanding the melodic whispers that could only originate from one place. Her mouth. No, I'm kidding. The music room.
Knows how to play piano.
Kinda wish it would show her face. It only shows like the bottom half of her face. That's you.
That took a while, Ciar. Was it hard for you to find me?
Apparently it was. The melody is deafening. My mind becomes a blur as I recognize the well-known tune that Claire is playing on the piano. She lovingly caresses the keys with her long, slender fingers. With a satisfying motion, she releases the rest of the melody, sentiments from deep in her heart fluttering about. That's you again.
We can talk while I play. Don't worry. I know the song so very well. By heart even. It's not a problem.
Despite her invitation, I remain silent. I am enthralled in memories, surprise, and the beauty of the morning sun reflecting on the gentle waves of her hair, surrounding her face and emphasizing her charming smile.
Every time I play this song, I always ask myself the same question. Is this a sad or a happy song? Yes, it does appear to be melancholic in the beginning, but as the song goes on, it gets more difficult to discern if it's actually a mourning of the past or a ballad of the hopes of the future. Some say that depending on the mood or who you're with, your impression of the things may change. This feels like one of those cases where the song doesn't define the emotion, but the emotion is what defines the song.
I don't reply, unable to find any answer in the way the notes are playing. I hear them clearly, but it's impossible for me to put them in any satisfactory pattern.
Do you know the history behind this song?
I'm sure you'll tell us. I shake my head.
Of course not. There is none.
Never mind.
People are always trying to find a deeper meaning behind everything around them. A story that transcends beyond ourselves and gives us meaning. It turns out that the composer made this piece when he was younger. He was ashamed of it for not being as good as his other works. He didn't publish it until many years after its conception, when he was a famous virtuoso and a client wanted to take advantage of his fame. And now, oddly enough, it's his most famous composition, the one he'll always be remembered by.
Claire's playing roughens up, increasing the pressure against the keys without losing her pace and speeding up her words as she speaks.
Oh, jeez. I was named after this song, for the peacefulness in the shining, bright moonlight. The power we have to influence other people's lives is nearly inconceivable. To the point that for everything we're ashamed about, we can simply add expectations for the next generations long before they're even born. That's why I so often wonder what this song is supposed to be asking of me, who I should be to meet its expectations.
Her knees begin. I think that's supposed to be begin. Yeah. To shake nervously and intensely, rubbing against each other restlessly while her hands continue playing without losing tempo.
It scares me. I'm not afraid of not knowing what I feel.
I'm afraid.
Oh.
Anyway.
I'm afraid of not knowing what I feel, afraid of not having control, afraid of the lies behind every decision I make. And while I observe everyone else being worried about what will happen after they die, I'm scared of something even worse than death. I'm scared of life.
The melody softens, poisoned with the unease that comes after a storm, followed by a great effort made by each and every cell in her body not to stop playing.
It's not embarrassment. I simply don't want to shine. I want to be in the background character that nobody cares about, talking and standing out just enough that no one notices me. That's why I hide, or at least that's how it was until something changed. Someone appeared and destroyed the foundations that I'd built with so much effort. I lived in a boring, peaceful, gray world that was closer to death than life, but those feelings that I'd long ago forgotten about returned to me and once again began blooming inside me. Stupid, isn't it? The complaints of a teenager. After that, those ideas spread like a virus, taking hold of a weak existence. I can only express indifferences for the world around it, immersing it in darkness and waiting, because it knows that this may be its last chance to find happiness. Anxiety, envy, jealousy, rage, anger, violence, disaster. Being close to you has only awakened parts of me that are shameful, and I can't do anything about it because it's your fault. It's your responsibility.
I don't think you should blame him for that.
This is me, Ciar. The mediocre melody that fears becoming a classic, that doesn't know which side of the spectrum it belongs to, and that only needs 3 words from you to be unafraid. Oh, I know those 3 words. You can make all that You can make all that I represent disappear, or at least all that I've already accepted, if you allow me to.
Her fingers slow down as they reach the end of the song. The air is thick and heavy. There's something in it that burns, irritating my throat to the point that I'm now totally speechless. How is he supposed to respond to that?
I know.
When I look at her, she smiles like she always used to, like she always does. And I can't accept that. Oh, wow, I like that was fast. Whoop, there's your face. Not with those sad eyes.
I got your eyes. I'm kidding.
She looks good without the hat.
I know.
When the song ends, we can't say anything. I've always been like this, right? It doesn't matter what I think. She already knows it. The worst part is that no answer will suffice unless it's truthful. I'm sure about one thing, though. I'm sure about the tenderness she used to play that Debussy song, and all the lies I wanted to forget.